Hey, what's up, guys? We're at the end of the second day, or second and a half, something like that. I don't know. Yesterday, I had to go down and take a look at a couple of different slides, and I met a new, there's another RV company that they're doing some custom work. They're actually taking a semi and turning it into a camper. The tractor part of it, they're not using the trailer part. They've stretched the frame, they've done all kinds of stuff. So one of the guys that I was looking at works for him. He saw what we were doing, he put the two of us together. I went down, I've got a slide repair to do, or we have a slide floor repair to do, another full rebuild on a slide. It sounds like we're going to try to figure out how to spray the roof on this custom rig that they're building. And then he does a lot of structural stuff, big structural stuff. Like he's cutting frames on Class 8 chassis and stuff. We don't have the capability to do that. He doesn't want to mess with slides. So this is early stages, and I'm just telling you what's going on with everything. And the reason that we got a day behind on this, because basically yesterday I left Noah alone in the shop and said, get this thing decked. I came back about 8 hours later and everything's down, and it's almost ready to spray. So there's a lot of little modifications that we're doing to the front of this. We talked about it the other day. The nose of the camper originally, they all do this. They come down and they stop, and there's a transition piece where they go from the TPO into the fiberglass roof. And I showed it the other day. There's this big strip, and you've got to have water stacked up about a ½ an inch before it'll actually go over that strip and start running down the side. And there's not enough pitch to the roof either direction for it to run off. So it's always a failure point. I think they get away with it because it's actually inside the fiberglass cap, so you don't even know what's going on. But the way we set this up, and Noah's going to get a picture of it, but the fiberglass cap comes up, the roof decking comes down, and it meets, and it's flush. So we use a wire tape. The tape's about 1/4 inch wide. It's got a real thin wire on one side of it, and we run it all the way down the side, around the back, bring it back up, and come across the top. We put our plastic to that, so we're going to have a roll of plastic that comes from that tape and droops down over this whole thing. We'll bring our curtains down, the curtain will droop over the top of it. We'll have plastic coming over this. So this is the last picture you're going to see with this, the way it looks before we completely cover it up and start doing some spray stuff. I'm going to try to get a couple of pictures. I can't really take the video camera in the booth because there's a decent amount of overspray. I'm in a suit, I'm in supplied air, and I don't know that you're going to get anything out of it. It's not like anybody could do that. It's definitely not a DIY project. But anyway, we'll get as many pictures as we can of the process going on. But we've still got to prime it. The primer takes about 8 hours to dry. So I think at this point, it's like 5:45. At this point, what we're going to do is button the rest of this up. All of the openings on top, the air conditioner curb is built. It's ready to go. Everything else is masked and taped up. The only thing we have to do is drop plastic down. So we'll get as much of that done tonight. Tomorrow morning, we've got to switch the machine over to the aliphatic. That's a whole process that takes a little bit of time. So we're going to have plenty to do. And I think if we put the primer down first thing in the morning, by the time tomorrow afternoon rolls around, if all of this scheduling works out right, then we're going to go ahead and spray it tomorrow evening. There's a green period, is what they call it, with this aliphatic that we're using. Normally on a bed liner, we prep it, put the wire tape up, we spray it. By the time we're done spraying, we grab a hold of the wire tape, cut the back edges off of it, and start putting things back together. With this stuff, it needs about 12 hours, 12 to 20 hours to set. And while it's setting up, while the chemical structure inside is getting together and doing all of its bonding stuff, it's still green and we can't pull the tape. So if it all works out, we've got stuff coming in. I just had a commercial customer. I can't believe he hasn't called yet. So there's a lot of chaos and up in the air. But anyway, we're going to get this thing sprayed. It may be Saturday, it may be tomorrow evening. But the way it works out, once it's done, we can pull it out. We take all of the plastic off. We take all of the paper off of all the fixtures. And then the last step is basically to put the gutter back up. We'll get some details and do another video, but the gutter will go right where the transition from this sidewall, the aliphatic roof material will be on the sidewall, and then it goes up and goes across and goes to the other side. The gutter will go right over the top of that. So there won't be any transition material from the roof to the walls except right out the gutter, and all of that's going to have automotive grade seam sealer in it. That, again, that stuff lasts 30 years or longer. I had a conversation with actually Juan and I were talking yesterday. We've been texting quite a bit back and forth. I just give progress updates and we do these videos. But he was asking, he's a firefighter here in Indianapolis, and he's like, why aren't the RV manufacturers doing this stuff? And there's actually two different companies that, I can't really say who they are, but there's two different companies testing this product. And the main feedback is they don't like it because they can't use Dicor, they can't use traditional solvents, you know, mineral spirits or any of this stuff. They can't use the stuff that they're used to, and it's a little difficult to work with. And another reason that there's other companies, not going to talk about them, but you've got guys out there that are spraying in pole barns. There's guys spraying under just open roof structures and stuff like that. When you're spraying our product, you need to be in conditioned environment. We've got temperature and humidity on the wall. If it's raining, we've got to pay attention to humidity. If it's getting ready to snow, we've got to pay attention to temperature. So inside a controlled climate is the only way you're going to get this product to go down, and the RV manufacturers don't have a lot of controlled climate where they're worried about anything other than maybe keeping a little bit of fan going in the summertime and trying to keep it from freezing in the wintertime. So it's kind of crazy. But the big reason that at the end of the day, the manufacturers aren't doing this is because it slows them down. It's more expensive. It's a little more cumbersome to work with. And nobody's just finally said, I've had enough and I'm not buying another piece of crap roof. But that's that. We can do these things. This is a really great camper for us. This is the first one that we've done that we haven't had to tear the whole thing apart before we put it back. Basically, we went in, we repaired the damage from the tree limb. We've got the 3mm decking that we glued down, stapled down on top of that. He opted not to take any decking off to check any of the work under the deck. He didn't want to spend any more money than that. But we are going to seal up the air conditioner, put the tape back in so that the air conditioner ducts are all right. We did bring the curb up for the air conditioner, so it's up 3/4 of an inch. So if it is raining, there's no way for water to stack up on the roof and actually get into the air conditioning system, even if the air conditioning gasket fails. So those are some of the things that we do. We had some issues with the solar that we got taken, the solar prep connection, got that taken care of. We checked all the vents this morning. We don't know this camper very well, but all the vents worked, and then I started plugging stuff back in and the bathroom vent didn't work. Couldn't figure out what was going on, went to lunch and come back, and guess what? It's got a switch on the wall inside. Hey, problem solved. So just a lot of little knick-knack stuff that's taken a little bit of time. And we're not bringing anybody else in until Noah and I know what's going on, so that even if I'm not here, Noah knows what's going on and he can direct the next guy. But that's it. I'm rambling. I'm tired again. But I think that's it. You should be able tomorrow, we'll take some pictures of the primer. The primer actually goes on black. We do that on purpose. The roof is going to be a bright white, super shiny. If there's any black showing through, we know something's going on, but we'll get it up to at least 60 mils thick with our passes and everything. Everything's going to be sealed in. The fixtures are sealed in. There's no die core. There's none of that crap. So we'll get some pictures and details, and it'll make more sense tomorrow. But for now, I'm going to get out of here, go get some rest, and we'll tackle this thing again tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Later.